What is going on, YouTube? PPS back. It is past the prop, week 18. Weird slate, really weird slate this week. A lot of people who don't need to win, a lot of teams who really probably will just be playing all backups the whole game. So, tough week to break down, but we're here anyway to talk about week 18. Joined as always by my guy, Stu. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing real good. I mean, obviously, like you said, there's some dud games. There's some absolute dud games this week. Something that, just not even laptop games. They're just, gutter games, that we're not going to be paying attention to. Except maybe me. I'll probably be checking out Sam Howell this week. I'm sure most people don't care about that. But the good news is we do have a couple games that really do matter. A couple games where obviously we're going to see both teams a game plan, right? They're going to come in some of the most important games of the season, especially Tennessee and Jacksonville, right? The winner goes to the playoffs right there. So we'll still see some good stuff. There's definitely a silver lining. Obviously, the incentive props, all that stuff is pretty popular around these parts. I'm sure we'll touch on that a little bit today. So, yeah, still plenty to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the incentive part because there's some of them that really don't mean anything to me. And obviously there's some that do. Like, I don't really look at too many of these incentive props that, like, teams need to win. You know, like why the fuck would their coach care if he gets his incentive? Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. So in terms of that, it's a little weird. But in terms of like some of these games where it means absolutely nothing, yeah, maybe we sign up for a couple of these. We need 140 yards for something, stuff like that. So I just wanted to get that out of the way because I'm sure that's going to be a talking point quite a bit today.
Yeah, the thing that annoys me the most, though, is these Jacksonville guys, the Christian Kirk needing 91 yards. It's like, guess what? All these Jacksonville, Zay Jones and even Ingram all need incentives this week. So people are playing the fuck out of those lines. And what annoys me the most is they'll probably win some of those bets because it's a great matchup. But none of these people are mentioning the matchup. They're only mentioning the incentive. Guys, these coaches could care less if some of these players can buy a new car in the offseason. This is a fucking playoff game. They're not going to be trying to get Christian Kirk 91 yards. They could care fucking less. They're trying to go to the playoffs. Like, I don't know. People are obviously over-exaggerating. If they're up 33-14, then yeah, he can go out there and get 91 yards. Maybe we all live bet that together. That's a great spot right there. But to pregame make those bets, not because it's a fantastic matchup, but just because you saw a tweet from some guy on the internet that was like, hey, only 91 yards, you should go bet this. Like, come on now. We can do better than that. And I think there are some actual good spots that I'm sure we'll bring up a little bit later today as well.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring this up as well. It's tough right now. There's really not much action out there. There's not many props out there for a lot of these games. So I only have one play today. I know you have two, but they're obviously in the same game. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up. It's going to be a shorter show. We will have we'll maybe do something after this in terms of NBA just because we can. And it's a good slate tonight too. So make sure you're on the lookout. We might do a play of the day video out there later. So you 15 of you guys in here right now, you guys will know what's up ahead of time. So make sure you have the notification bell on so you can see what we got for some NBA tonight. But yeah, there's a lot of Sunday games that have no props. Is there a game that you're really looking forward to the props getting dropped for? Outside of Sam Howell getting like 80 yards passing?
No, you should have said rushing. It would have been perfect right there. It would have been perfect. But yeah, no. I mean, besides that, that's a good question, honestly. I'm sure. Let me pull up the games real quick and see. Take a look. I mean, Bills Patriots will be an interesting one, obviously, with everything that's going on. I don't know about you. Obviously, very happy to see all this good news, but just from a pure player prop perspective, I mean, I wouldn't be picking against the Bills. I feel like the Bills are going to win like 40-0 this week. So that's obviously something that'll be interesting. And Chargers Broncos. That one has some incentive props. I don't know if you've heard about it. I think Everett is the big one a lot of people betting. One that I would love to bet this week. This is real on the down low, guys, so far. DeAndre Carter would be huge.
Like
24 receiving yards, something like that.
Two catches or something.
The guy was like a substitute teacher like 2 years ago. Like this game doesn't matter at all. They're going to get him those yards, like 100%. He fought himself from a special teamer to a player. Like I really like that one. So if anyone posts it, then definitely going to be hammering some DeAndre Carter props.
I really want to see the Tampa Bay one. I want to see Tampa Bay. They're 4-point dogs against Atlanta this week. So that's going to be interesting. Also, I've never been. I'm gonna be cheering pretty damn hard for the Saints this week because we need to find a way to keep the Carolina Panthers under their win prop that I picked. Oh my god, dude, they're in the playoff hunt and they still could hit the under on their win prop, which is unreal. Don't know how that's even possible, but gonna be that one's gonna be one that I want. And obviously, I'm gonna probably bet Tom Brady completions till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, I mean, is Tom Brady playing though? Do we know? I don't think he is. I don't think Brady's playing this week.
Well, I know they have no props up, so obviously
Yeah.
it's not locked in that he's playing, but we'll see.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that'll be an interesting one though for sure. I mean, Carolina, yeah, we got to root for that win total right there. What a crazy division, by the way. What an absolute shit show. But hey, the Saints did me a favor last week. They beat the Eagles. That was pretty good. Maybe they'll do you a favor. You just got to have some faith, like I did.
Yeah, dude, isn't it wild? Cowboys need San Francisco and the Eagles both to lose to get the 1 seed. Both of those teams, 14-point favorites this week. What are the odds of that? You need the 2 teams to lose, and they're the biggest favorites of the year. Both of them are tied now for the biggest favorites of the year. Carolina with no D-Hop, with no Kyler. Oh, my God, that team is broken.
It's gonna be
and then obviously you get the Giants. What a spread. 14-point spread. Eagles at home facing off against the Giants. Obviously, don't know if they're going to sit people or not, but you never know. But yeah, that under 6.5 for Carolina is definitely where I'm looking at because that was a prop I gave out over at first right before the first week of the season.
Oh yeah. So it's still yeah. I mean, like you said, some crazy dogs this week. I mean, what is the team total for the Cardinals this week? Is it like
9.5 maybe?
9.5 sounds right. I mean, are they going to score 10 points? Like you got to understand, guys, the San Francisco backups are still better than what's going on with the Cardinals. The only good look right here, my guy Greg Dortch. We've been cooking them in the slot every week. And it's a garbage time game, I know. But if we get some Greg Dortch props, then that's one we got to all play as well. Yeah, I saw that Giants starting or sitting key starters. I saw they were keeping it close to their chest, but it looked like Tyrod was going to start, which I like Tyrod, man. Tyrod, go out there and give him a good game.
He could be the new Taysom Hill that cooked the Eagles last week. So we'll see. But just looking at some of our future ones, right, our future plays that we had, Jefferson, I believe, was that you or Vaughn that had Jefferson? Jefferson's obviously up by like 82 yards. So hopefully he holds on. Kelsey hasn't scored a touchdown in 3 weeks, so that's obviously not great. He's 2 behind Devontae, but they play each other this week. Travis Kelsey played these guys last time and had 4 touchdowns on 26 yards receiving. So
we have hope.
Interesting matchup there. We could easily, hopefully, we could see even a tie will work, right? It'll still count if they're tied for the league lead. So Kansas City, let's triple team Mr. Adams, and Kelsey, let's get in the end zone twice, and we'll be off to the races for that one.
Oh, yeah.
I think those are our 2 biggest ones that still have a chance. Obviously, Jefferson one has a little bit more of a chance because he's leading, but yeah, Kelsey has kind of fallen down a little bit in terms of touchdown equity. Let's take a look at the chat here, guys, and we'll get it rolling. Again, just know we're going to have – there's just not games out with props. So we're going to be pretty much sticking in a lot of the same games here and only 3 total plays. I'll only have 1. Stu's got 2. Let's take a look at the chat. We got Turbo in here. Let's do it. Plus Money Bob. Dude, I'm so pissed because I'm seeing Plus Money Bob in here, and I typed in my play. It was plus money, and now it's down to minus 103. So Plus Money Bob, I'm sorry. I tried. It was there for about 30 minutes, and then it started moving down. You'll see why. I'll talk about it in a second. But we got Ryan in here as well, Jason. Joe bringing up that he's going to be backing on Derrick Henry. Hey, that's not a bad idea. I'm sure he's going to be getting that rock about 30 times this week. Happy to see that you're rolling with the Panthers under. What do you think about this one, Turbo, bringing up the Russ secret incentive for picks? I mean, if you get 20, you've got to be getting an extra $1 million for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, the incentive is his contract is unbreakable right now, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, that's the incentive right there. But, yeah, I don't know. Is he even going to play? I guess he plays, but, like, I mean, do we need him to play? I mean, I don't know. Drew Lock's not there anymore. Never mind. I can't even see Drew Lock, unleash some swag on us in the last week, unfortunately.
And I wanted to talk about here. We have Plus Money Bob talked about the Panthers. Sprinkle Olave, offensive rookie of the year, plus 3,000. Who's leading that? Isn't it Walker?
Yeah, I don't like any of those guys, honestly. Wilson's stats aren't that great on paper, which kind of hurts. Zach Wilson hurt him. Olave could be interesting. I don't really love Walker either. I don't know. I don't really have a strong take on who's going to win it, but yeah, there you go. I don't know.
Yeah, the only future one that I have is Sauce, defensive rookie of the year. They don't even have his lineup anymore on DK. One thing I do want to talk about before we get into our plays here is let's take our little victory lap here. Patrick Mahomes down to minus 1,600 on DraftKings to get that MVP. I know we were in here with Mr. Vaughn, and Vaughn was fighting for Hurts pretty bad, man. He was fighting hard. Shout out to Vaughn, but looking at it now, we have Jalen Hurts fourth behind Allen and Burrow, but Burrow's plus 900, Allen's 1,500, and so is Hurts at plus 1,500.
Yeah, no, and I mean it was an easy call, right? It was an easy call. I mean, Mahomes was the MVP. It's pretty clear, I think, to most people that watch football outside of the state of Philadelphia. If you do watch inside the state of Philadelphia, I understand, you may be watching a different game than the rest of us. I do think it was pretty interesting too that a lot of guys were trying to make it seem like Gardner Minshew not being great for these last 2 weeks was some kind of indictment that that Hurts deserves it more now because we've seen how bad this team is without it. I'm not really buying that narrative. I don't know about you. I still think Gardner Minshew is one of the better backups in the league, and I understand where people are going to say, "Well, look at the disparity without them out there." But let's look at the talent on the field, right? Let's look at the offensive line, defensive line. Let's calm down, okay? Hurts had a good season, saw some improvements. We'll see how he is in the playoffs. Maybe we'll see what happens. But I don't know. Mahomes' great season. Shout out to anyone that took that.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you could always just say, "Hey, what are you going to bring in Chad Henne?" And you think that the Chiefs is going to move like they are with Mahomes? If that's really your argument, man, how do you win that argument, bro? And Minshew threw for 400 on Dallas in that game.
If Minshew started the whole season for the Eagles, they'd be like 6-7 win team, maybe 8 win. Maybe even if Minshew got that swag going, he's got the Heineke vibe, gets the team fired up, they could be a borderline playoff team. If we put Gardner Minshew as the Chiefs quarterback this season from day one, they'd have like 3 wins, maybe 4 wins if it was a good season. I mean, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is not coming out here making those plays that, A.J. Brown is, Dallas Goedert. That's all we got to say.
Yeah, no, and guys, I know you're going to rip on him for being a Philly guy. I'm actually backing this too, and I have absolutely no dog in this fight, so I don't really care. But let's get to our props here. Like I said, this could be a little bit of a shorter show. We will have some stuff coming out later together, so you'll see some other plays that we have today. But I'll kick it over to you to start us off with an under. We haven't seen one of these in a while.
Yeah, no, Travis Etienne under 68.5 rushing yards, minus 110 right here. This is over on FanDuel, down to 64 almost everywhere else. And even then, I was kind of ready to play the 64 on DraftKings, so I realized there was a better number out here. It's interesting. This is a game with a 39 total, 39.5. I haven't seen a single under posted for this game yet on my Twitter timeline. It is all over so far. But in reality, we know what Tennessee under Vrabel is going to want to do in these kind of games. They're going to want to grind this game out, slow this game down, limit opponent possessions as much as possible. They are never going to run in a track race right here unless the game's really over. If they're down 21-0, then they'll have to throw a little bit. The game's over. I personally am not really buying the hype on Jacksonville as much. I think they're a great team. Like I said, Lawrence MVP next season will be a bet I am making, but I do think this is a game the Titans will be able to keep close, and a lot of that comes down to slowing down this Jacksonville offense. ETN has been very explosive so far this season, but hey, look what happened when he ran into Tennessee last time. 17 carries in that game for 32 yards. That's 1.9 yards per carry right there. Oh my God. I don't think I've seen a worse stat line so far this season. Normally teams abandon the run, but obviously they kept going. It still did not end up working. They were up by so much in that game, I believe, right? They're up by a touchdown or two for the end of that game. And even then, they weren't even able to get those garbage time yards that a lot of guys get to kind of boost their stats. When we look at who's had success, Saquon Barkley, week number 1, hit this number. Guess who's hit this number since against the Titans? Nobody. absolutely nobody, including Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, tons of guys. Patrick Mahomes was actually one of the closest guys to hitting this number. That's because the rest of the Chiefs combined for 12 rushes for 14 yards. Mahomes was actually the leading rusher in that game. This Titans rush defense is very, very good. Ranked number 2 via DVOA, only allowing 3.4 yards per carry on the season. They rested all the big guys last week. They got, a little bit of a week off. It's always good to have that rest advantage. Now they're going to come in strong. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball. I think if Jacksonville wins this game, which they have a pretty good chance of doing, I think it's going to be through the air. I think it's going to be Trevor Lawrence having to make plays right here. I only have ETN for about 14 carries. I don't think he gets that same kind of volume. And guess what? He's a huge explosive plays guy, right? That's what I said earlier. That's kind of his thing. They limit explosive plays better than almost every other team in the league, ranking 6th or 2nd right now against opposing running backs. So just a great matchup for the Tennessee defense right here. I think they slow ETN down once again.
Love it, love it, love it. And we know how to attack them, right? You know how to attack this team. You know what they're good at. It's like Washington. We talk about it all the time is you got to throw the ball on them. You can't really run on them. It's just going to be frustrating just to see those 2-yard runs consistently. And obviously, why would you just pass them the ball in space and get them the ball in space? That's how you're going to be able to really use ETN to the best of his ability here.
And don't you think that's exactly what they do too, right? Agnew, guys like ETN, Hasty, has been involved a lot too. Just little short throws, little dump down screens. It feels like one of those games where you get your kind of pseudo rushing yards via the short passing game and dump offs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Good look there. Obviously, it's tough to back it under on a pretty well-known running back, right? Like, once you see this number, you're like, oh, why is this not higher? And then obviously once you dig in, you'll be able to figure out why. And a guy we really don't need to talk too much about, I will go into it a little bit here. I'm going to be doing a parlay here over on DraftKings. This was plus 100 for a while. I just saw the Vikings. Actually, no, it's back to plus 100. Back to plus 100. I'm seeing it right now. I just popped over on my DraftKings there. So it's just plus 100. So I got to make sure I put that in there just so Plus Money Bob can have one of the plus money spots today. But obviously, I think the Vikings take care of Nathan Peterman, even though they're in Chicago. I'm pretty sure it's a noon game, too. So you know what that means. Kirk Cousins is going to be good. So he only has a couple of those noon games now per year, but this is a noon game. You're facing a Bears team that absolutely is dreadful. I don't even care if they bench Dalvin Cook. This Bears team can't stop the run at all. I would not be surprised to see Alexander Madison go for 100 yards on him. I mean, it really doesn't matter who's running the ball against this Bears team. It is that bad. We saw the Lions just absolutely shred them. They didn't even have to pass in the second half. So I expect the Vikings to take care of business. That's minus 360. It moved up to minus 400, and that's why the line moved to minus 103. But now it's back to minus 365, and we're getting plus 100. So love this spot. Obviously, for the Vikings, obviously, it's a minus 300 favorite in the NFL. Obviously, this is the one game where I'm pretty confident in the Vikings to take care of business. They don't want to face the Packers again. You might as well win the game so you have a chance to move up or not have to face them again when they have your number after that last week. Obviously, there's confidence there. And then Mahomes, 300. Hit this in 9 of his last 11 games. And a lot of these games are not even close. Like, he is absolutely crushing this number. We saw 328 against the Broncos, 336. We have a couple 400-yard games in there against San Francisco and Tennessee, right? First matchup, 298. Obviously didn't get there. But every single one of those touchdown passes were 1-yard passes for 3 of them to Travis Kelce, right? That's how you get 26 yards and 4 touchdowns. So Mahomes in that first matchup threw the ball 43 times, which I really like to see, had the 290. But also they really just tried to take away Travis Kelce. And obviously that's really hard to do. But McCole Hardman back might help us out. They now have Tony, right? Scantling had 90 yards in this game first time through, so we could see some deep balls in this game. I think we can see those breakaway plays that Mahomes is great at, getting those impromptu down the field passes. I think that Sky Moore might be an interesting part to add into this mix as well. But it's hard, especially when you see Mahomes is leading MVP candidate. They had a close matchup. They should have lost this game first time through. And now you had a team that Stidham looked pretty good. Like, he played very well against a very good defense. So could we see another game staying within 7, right? I mean, it's a 9-point spread, but I think it's a little big, seeing as how well he played against that San Francisco defense. I'm excited to see this game. And I think if we're staying close, I think Mahomes is going to chuck it all around the yard here. I do not think I am underestimating. I've watched enough Bear games this year that Fields is doing it all on his own, and if you don't have him, I truly don't know what is going to happen. We could just see Montgomery not play either. You could just see Khalil Herbert running with Nathan Peterman. Yeah, like I'm afraid of that offense, bro. That one I'd be if they were playing like a decent defense. With I don't think the Vikings are a very good defense. But what would happen if they played the Niners this week? How many points do you think their team total is? Like it's like 6. Like honestly, like it's like I don't see a way that we're going to see the Vikings find a way to lose this one. And I get it that a lot of one-score games, but even this one, I think we're going to see some points put up by this Vikings offense.
Yeah, what happens? More interceptions from Nathan Peterson or more points on the board, right? I mean, 3-3 is very possible right here. 3 picks, 3 points this week. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And obviously, Mahomes is a pretty popular one this week. A lot of people are eyeing what you're seeing, but that doesn't make it a bad play. Once again, I mean, Mahomes should absolutely slaughter this number. And especially, I know the incentive stuff, if he has an insane game, if he gets close. But even in a regular game, this is the number 1 team in pass rate over expectation. It's not like we're asking them to do something they don't do on a week-by-week basis. So there's nobody that can, in the secondary. It's funny. You normally say there's nobody that can stick with these wide receivers. There's nobody that can stick with Patrick Mahomes on this team. I mean, they can probably stick with MVS, but he'll fit it in there somehow like he always does. So I like this one. 300 yards should be very, very doable in this matchup.
Yeah, and I really like that even if that we finally got McCole Hardman back, right? And in the first matchup, they didn't have Tony. So it's like, I think we could see some of those complementary pieces get some shine in this game just so you can see who you can trust in those playoff games. Because there's I don't trust MVS to catch a pass in a clutch situation, So maybe this is a tryout for that playoff run because MVS really hasn't taken the shot. Obviously, Hardman's coming off an injury. Tony played on a team where he didn't even touch the ball for half the season. So maybe this is a chance that you can see some other guys come through. And this is funny. This is true. I mean, it would be something crazy to happen like that. So, I mean, I guess that is me hedging my bets, seeing as I'm a Packer fan and I would watch the Bears kind of just fuck themselves over. So I guess that is a little hedge on the spot too.
If you're a Bears fan watching, we know there's some of you guys in here. We know, obviously Dan, I believe, a Bears guy as well. You don't want the Bears to win this week. That just increases the trade haul. You're going to get even more. You do not want to win this week whatsoever. So if the Bears did win, it would be pretty freaking funny, but obviously not for this bet. We're still rooting for the Vikings.
Yeah, no, and that I think that those playoff games definitely helped them out, right? Helped out the Bears because now there's 2 quarterbacks that are playing really well coming out of the draft that could be top picks. And you already have Fields. I wouldn't want to get rid of Fields. So you could trade that for some pretty big 100%. Stuff too. So obviously I don't like talking about what the Bears should do positively. So I'll kick over to you for our last play of the day here and call him out here.
Yep. Got a little bit of a tougher name to pronounce. We're going to Kongwu right here for the Titans, the rookie tight end. If you don't know about this guy, we've talked about him a bit so far this season. I believe I had him on the show just a couple of weeks ago. I believe in the same exact matchup, I want to say, but I know I've been betting him a lot, so I don't know if the prop one was on here or not, but this guy has been awesome for the Titans so far, despite the fact that they don't really pass the ball that much. And they still won't in this game. I like targeting only 1 catch right here. I talked about it a little bit last week, and I'm just waiting for a better number, which is why it wasn't the show pick. I will be betting Joshua Dobbs longest completion over 32.5. I said in my Discord earlier I had a play that I think absolutely nobody would like, and that was it. So I'm waiting for a better line. I think I'll get one. But I think Okongwu is honestly one of the guys that can cash this number for me and why I like it so much. He's been great from the tight end position recently, but when you look at who these guys have played, right? The Jags have played some bottom tier teams recently. You're thinking Zach Wilson, the Texans. You're thinking, I'm just going to say, let's throw these games out. Let's not even look at how the tight ends did. It's the exact opposite. In these absolute terrible games with quarterbacks that were dreadful, tight ends crushed this defense. We saw Atkins have a 27-yard catch. We saw Howard have a 26-yard catch, both for the Texans. Then against the Jets, where Zach Wilson only had 81 yards in that game. And I believe Strevler had to come in and relieve him. Conklin had a 27-yard catch. Uzama had a 30-yard catch. It's clear, even when these quarterbacks are struggling, or just bad, they can see, well, at least the tight end is open over the middle. They're stopping these big plays and allowing these kind of leaky tight end plays. And that's exactly what Okongwu was great at taking advantage of the week before. Okay, Dalton Schultz didn't hit. I actually had a bet on him to get a touchdown. Do you know who did? Their backup tight end had a 20-yard catch. Hendershot, he had a 20-yard catch. That stole my Dalton Schultz touchdown. So shout out to him that week. And then the week before that, they played the Titans. And guess what? He hit this number. He had a 15-yard catch. And then Austin Hooper, their other tight end, also had a 24-yard catch right here. I just think this is a great spot for it. He has a lot of yards after catchability. He actually leads the league in 40-yard receptions for a tight end, which is a pretty random stat to have, but pretty cool. And he's also, I believe, either number 1 or number 2 right now in targets per route run for tight ends. So he's not the most used player in the world, but when he's out there, when he's running routes, he is getting elite usage. I really like his receiving yards too at 24. I like the longest both. I meant to play this a half unit, by the way. I'm sorry. You should add that to a little ticker. I must have forgotten to say that at the beginning. I'm playing it for a half unit. The reason I'm playing it for a half unit is because I definitely plan to add a little bit more on his regular yards, and then maybe a little 40-yard alternate line didn't hurt anybody ever, right? So I like a lot of stuff for this guy today.
Yeah, I mean, of all those tight ends you listed, I would not be feeling like I'm going out on a limb to say he's the most athletic of all those guys. And honestly, the Conklin one was pretty easy, but then obviously the Uzama one should have been a touchdown. Should have been 60 yards. Like there was nobody who even touched him. He just literally ran right by him and stood in the middle of the field in absolutely awful pass. It was a terrible pass. Like he could have scored a 60-yard touchdown if the ball wasn't 15 yards underthrown. So I just remember watching that, just watching the tight ends be open every single time. That's obviously something we want to see here. So for sure, I definitely like that.
I sent you in the private chat, okay?
Yeah,
this one's not on me. I sent the exact name.
I'll copy and paste from this one here.
I told him to copy and paste it. This is what
we
get for letting you.
Dude, that's what happens though. Is my autocorrect is to Okongwu from the freaking Hawks. That's why I had something on him in the Hawks. So when I typed it, even when I got to OKN, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I hit the tab and it took me to Okongwu.
This is a shame right here, guys. You're making me look bad, okay? We need to.
At least it makes you look bad. It makes you look bad, not me. So it's all right.
Hey, we need to help. Let's take. Oh, PPS, what a loser! What a guy right here. Come on, let's all take our second, get it out. I know you guys are all thinking it right now. You don't have to hide it, and then we can move on.
Just change that to 0.5 to 1U. Okay. I'm just reading the chat here quick. Yeah. Hey, Neko Okongwu, baby. Love to see it. Love to see him. He's a two-sport athlete. Not many guys can do that for sure. So
well, hey, we'll be talking some hoops in like an hour or so. So maybe that's an accidental spoiler right there. Who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Clint's out again, so we'd like to see that. So we are through everything. We tried to say we're going to be around that 30-minute mark today for our NFL stuff just because there's not a ton of props out. Yeah, and let's get to our recap here. Do you want to do a touchdown?
The only touchdown I have that I like so far on the board, shout out to my guy Benny Riccardi from FTN. AJ Dillon is plus 210 or something crazy like that on Caesars. He has like a great line. No, not 210. It's like plus 190, plus 180 something. And he's minus 210 over on FanDuel. So I like AJ Dillon to get in the end zone. I love the odds on that one right there. But that's the only touchdown I've really looked at. Do you have a pair? Oh, it's down to 140. It was 180 earlier.
Let me see if they have my line out for my guy here.
Sam Howell. You don't even have to say it. I know. Great.
I would never bet on Sam Howell in my life because the coach is Ron Rivera. So never will get another cent of my money unless I'm fading Washington, which has made me good money over the last couple of weeks. So
yeah, if people were in my Discord last year, I bet on Sam Howell in his bowl game, thinking he was going to ball out and show out, and he sucked. So that's my only experience betting Sam Howell.
All right, let me see because it's not on DraftKings. I'm going to see if they have it over on FanDuel here. Yes, on FanDuel. Dude, how do I not take Jamal Williams minus 120 against the Packers? That dude is going to run every 1 yard play in. And they find a way to get one every game. They're on the 1 yard line in like 90% of their games. So because Amon-Ra can't get in the end zone on a lot of these, but revenge game, scored against us before. dude's pushing for his incentive as well. I think minus 120 is ridiculous. Will be a play of mine for sure this week. So minus 120 on FanDuel.
Yeah, shout out to all the touts out there on Twitter too, letting us know he only needs 6 yards, guys, to get his bonus. So make sure to bet his 6 yards. I'm sure we all have access to that bet this week. So love that.
Sure, it's an alt line. Sure, it's an alt line you can get somewhere.
Yeah, we'll see. Can I tease one more before we get on out of here that I like this week?
Yeah. Do you for a touchdown?
No, just a regular incentive kind of milestone. I see my guy Tyler Algier. He's 100 yards away from an 1,000-yard season. What do they need to see from Cordell Patterson? We already know what Cordell Patterson is. The game literally doesn't matter. Algier's been taken over as their guy. I mean, I could see him getting 100 yards pretty easy. I bet not easy, but I bet we'll get pretty good odds for it, So I think that's something I'll definitely be sprinkling on a little bit this week.
Yeah, in a game we might not see all those guys from Tampa even being in there, Vita Vea and all those guys too. So, yeah, should be cool to see. Saying he's chasing Sanders' record too. Okay, that could be something too to throw in a touchdown. Might have to be in all my DraftKings lineups that are going to be just garbage this week because I'm playing fucking fourth stringers to score touchdowns in those games. So, let's go through a quick recap here, and then we'll get on our way, and we'll get you guys out of here, and we'll talk about what's kind of going on the rest of the day.
Sounds good. We started out with Travis Etienne, under 68.5 rush yards, minus 110 over on FanDuel Sportsbook. Then went to Chigoziem Okonkwo, over 14.5 longest reception, minus 110 over on DraftKings, and it's on FanDuel as well.
Awesome. So I'll be on Mahomes 300, adding in with the Vikings money line there as well to come through for us. And obviously we're going to be backing the Bears to find a way to lose this one as well. So, Stu, what do you got for the people here before I kind of talk about what's going on for the rest of the day?
Yeah, no, I mean, great NBA slate today. There'll be plenty of props out there as well. And then we don't have that many NFL props right now, obviously, but we will over the course of the weekend. So if you want access to those, you're obviously going to make sure to want to follow both of us over on Twitter. We'll be posting all that kind of stuff. I know both of us have articles, stuff like that coming out. Also, you're going to want to follow us on Pickett Sports. If you sign up with code PTP, get between $3 and $100, completely free app. You don't have to do anything. And guess what? I post some prize picks over there. I like to post a little fun stuff over there, mix it up a little bit. So make sure to follow us both over there as well. But yeah, that's all I got, man. A lot of exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, articles probably from both of us through the end of today. Also going to have Stu popping on as a first guest in a while on my YouTube Play of the Day video for NBA. We'll both drop a prop for you guys over there. So make sure you have the notifications on. And that'll be a recorded one. So you guys won't have to pop in live for that. That'll be just quick, easy, get you on your way and get some props that we can cash in for tonight. And obviously these for Saturday/Sunday. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Best of luck on all your bets this week. And hopefully we'll be able to cash in another couple props here for you guys. So have a good one, guys. We'll talk soon.